On the broadcast tonight, outbreak, the latest from the federal government on a new and deadly flu virus and the risk for people in this country. Ford's future, the only automaker not to take bailout money, and why they're feeling good these days. Deadly days. Ann Curry in Iraq tonight, where the general in charge is talking about the troubling trend there. And making a difference, a place where getting a haircut is the healthiest choice you can make. Also tonight, can an entire city actually slow down? Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. You can tell by the tone of what federal officials are saying, both on and off the record, that they're concerned about a new strain of flu never seen before. It's killed as many as 60 people in Mexico, maybe more. There have been 8 reported cases so far here in the U.S. Today, some officials openly said the effort now is to prevent a kind of slow-moving global epidemic. Mexico, for their part, they've shut down schools, museums, theaters, libraries. Some people are wearing masks, and that is some indication of why the feds in this country are taking this so seriously. We'll start off tonight with our report from our chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
This much is known. There is an outbreak in Mexico of a new strain of flu that can be deadly. The World Health Organization says it has killed some 60 people. 8 people in the United States, in areas bordering Mexico, have gotten sick with the same strain of flu. None has died or become seriously ill.
This is something we are worried about, and we are treating very seriously. And I think that it's important that people are paying attention to what's going on.
To try to curb the outbreak, the Mexican government has closed schools, museums, libraries, and other public facilities.
Eventos multitudinarios.
The Mexican federal health minister today also called on people, especially the young, to avoid all large gatherings. The big question now, how much further will the virus spread?
We really are in a very difficult position right now where we have much more uncertainty than we do certainty. And unfortunately, that uncertainty all bodes poorly for the future if we show ongoing transmission.
Though called swine flu, the new virus has genetic elements, not just from pigs, but from humans and birds. Scientists have spent a lot of time worried that bird flu could become a pandemic, but they have always known that any new virus to which humans have no natural immunity holds that possibility. That is what happened in 1918, killing some 50 million people worldwide.
WHO is not at the point of declaring a pandemic. We are at the point of trying to learn more about this virus and understand its transmission and how to control it.
In preparation for bird flu, most communities were supposed to develop pandemic preparedness plans. In the next few weeks, we'll see if they need to be put into place. This is a new flu virus. That means even if people got a flu shot, they have no protection. And even if officials start now to manufacture a new vaccine for this virus, it will take months until the first doses are available, Brian.
And Bob, for the rest of us, you say this is a new virus. The old shot doesn't protect against us. Is this a case of, and now we wait?
That's absolutely the case, and it's the worst situation for public health because all you can do is wait. Although it would be a very good time for all the communities to review the preparedness plans they were supposed to come up with. The drug Tamiflu does protect against it, but officials very strongly urge against people hoarding that because it could just lead to resistance, and that would make the situation much worse.
All right, we'll continue to watch this story over the coming weekend. Bob Bazell here with us in our New York studios tonight. Bob, thanks. Now we turn to the economy. Some positive news for a change. It has to do with the auto industry. Ford reported a first quarter loss, but not as bad as expected. As you may know, Ford has not taken bailout money among the big 3. They said today they don't expect to. The news, however, is not as good about GM and Chrysler. CNBC's Phil LeBeau covers the car business. He's at a Ford dealership in Dearborn, Michigan, with the very latest for us tonight. Phil, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. We are on the verge of a major shakeup for the big 3. For starters, GM is going to kill Pontiac, the brand that gave us such iconic muscle cars like the Trans Am. It's going away. Chrysler could be in bankruptcy within a week. And against that backdrop, Ford says it's turning the tide, thanks in part to models like the Mustang. It believes that it is on the road to profitability. Ford CEO Alan Mulally has made survival job 1. and believes the troubled automaker will survive this recession. In the first 3 months of the year, Ford lost just under $2 billion, $41 million a day in cash. But that's half what they were losing daily last fall.
We have a long way to go, but do we have a lot of confidence based on this performance over the last few quarters and the last year that the plan is the right plan?
The plan has been simple but drastic. To fix Ford, Mullally has cut more than 50,000 jobs and closed 17 plants, sold brands like Jaguar and Land Rover, while building up the Ford and Lincoln brands with new models and a new energy.
They're making good progress on two fronts. One is on the product side in terms of selling some products, but very importantly in terms of restructuring the company to be a much lower cost company.
Ford's resurgence comes as GM and Chrysler continue to struggle. Chrysler may file for bankruptcy by the end of next week, while GM, which received $2 billion more in federal bailout money this week, is preparing for another round of cuts. And CNBC has learned GM will kill Pontiac.
Pontiac GTO for 66.
The brand that gave America its muscle cars.
I'm just shocked. It's the best word to put it.
The changing landscape of the big three means buyers will have fewer dealerships and fewer models to choose from, making brand loyalty even more important as companies like Ford fight to hang on to customers.
Ford is one of the places that hasn't asked for any bailout money, and I commend them for that.
Once GM is done with Pontiac, it'll be down to just 4 brands here in the U.S., and if you combine the sales of those 4 brands, they would be lower than the combined sales of Toyota's 3 brands here in the U.S. Brian?
What a storied name to go away with that vintage Firebird there in front of you. Phil LeBeau in Dearborn, Michigan for us tonight. Phil, thanks as always. On Wall Street today, the week ended on an up note with the Dow gaining 119 points, closing at 8,076. The news out of Iraq, not good again today. A second straight day of violence, 2 more suicide bombings. At least 60 people dead. That's a death toll of 145 people in 2 days' time. Late today, our own Ann Curry arrived in Baghdad, where she talked to the U.S. general in charge about perhaps this newly active insurgency. Ann, good evening.
Brian, good evening to you. That's right. In fact, in an interview here in one of Saddam Hussein's former palaces, we spoke to the top military commander here in Iraq, and he told NBC News that he believes the violence of the past 2 days is the work of al-Qaeda in Iraq. Today, back-to-back suicide bombs exploded at entrances to the Imam Musa Shrine, just as Shiite worshippers were coming in for Friday prayers, and some 60 people died, Brian. And just on Thursday, twin blasts exploded in Shiite crowds waiting for food aid, and also in a restaurant filled with Shiite Iranian pilgrims. Now, as you said, in all, that's 145 people dead in 2 days, a sudden spike in violence. Here's what U.S. Commander Ray Odierno told NBC News.
It's all been in Shia neighborhoods targeting the Shias, so that makes you think it's al-Qaeda. It's our intelligence of what type of attacks they conduct. Female suicide bombers has been a sign of al-Qaeda. 3 out of the 4 have been females.
While the commander here in Iraq says that this new wave of violence is not what he says is a trend, it's not a trend, he says, of sectarian violence here in Iraq, it is raising questions, however, about whether Iraqi security, which was responsible for security at the mosque, is ready. Brian.
And we saw General Odierno there. You've been flying around with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I know you started your day in Afghanistan. What can you tell us about the situation there?
Well, I tell you what, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is expressing a lot of concern. First of all, he was there to visit with troops and spend a lot of time with them because, you know, they're expecting a surge in violence in the summer because of Taliban fighters they think are coming over the mountains as they normally do during this time of the year, but how they may actually do in greater numbers and have more violence because of the concerns about the 21,000 troops that you know are coming into Afghanistan. But the chair of the Joint Chiefs was very concerned about the news today that Taliban fighters moving closer towards Islamabad, within 60 miles of Islamabad, and he was very concerned. They've pulled back, Brian, since moving there today. However, there is now concern that this, according to the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, moves Pakistan closer to the tipping point for Islamic extremists to take control of Pakistan, which you know is a nuclear power.
Ann Curry, whose travels we've been following on Today on NBC all week. 2 war zones in 1 week. Ann, travel safe. We'll see you back here. In South Carolina tonight, firefighters are struggling to keep the upper hand on the state's worst wildfire in at least 3 decades. It's burning near the popular vacation area Myrtle Beach. It's destroyed or damaged dozens of homes so far. Our own Ron Mott remains on the scene in North Myrtle Beach for us tonight with the latest. Ron.
Hey there, Brian. Good evening to you. We are standing at 4 of the 69 houses that have been destroyed so far by these persistent, stubborn wildfires. It's a disheartening scene. Now, tonight, going forward into the nighttime hours, the big concern are the winds. What will they do? Erratic sea breezes are threatening to negate some of the gains that firefighters made today, getting containment up from 40% to 50%. And also today, officials said that all of this started last Saturday with a man who was burning yard waste. He apparently thought that that fire was out. It wasn't. It smoldered for days and erupted on Wednesday. No criminal charges have been filed, but he was cited for unlawful burning. Brian?
Hey, Ron, thanks. Ron Mott in North Myrtle Beach for us this Friday night. When our broadcast continues tonight, for those just out of college these days, finding a job is job one. Also, later tonight, a doctor who's finding a way to make a healthy difference at the barbershop of all places.
Has progress taken us to a better place? I'd say it's taken us for a ride. Honestly, what thanks do we owe progress? We're up to our necks in landfill and down to the wire in resources, and climate change is out to get us. That's why progress plays no role inside post-shredded wheat. Here, we put the no in innovation. Post-original shredded wheat is still just the one simple, honest ingredient which naturally comes with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. All we did was make it spoon-sized. Did we go too far?
Can't anything help these itchy allergy eyes?
Get fast relief with Visine A. Why just rely on allergy pills? Visine A goes right where you need it, relieving itching in minutes. Visine A, fast, powerful relief for itchy allergy eyes.
Roundup Extended Control does 2 jobs at once. 1, kills weeds to the root. 2, forms a barrier, preventing new ones for up to 4 months. Roundup Extended Control.
Here's Ryan getting ready to make his approach. To the men's room.
Looks like he needs to go urgently.
True. And there's Casey about to drive, also to the men's room.
He has been going over and over.
Now Wilson, 3rd time today, says he's going a lot at night, too.
Yes, I'm afraid he thinks it's par for the course.
They ought to see their doctors.
Could be male urinary symptoms due to BPH and enlarged prostate.
For many guys, prescription Flomax reduces their urinary symptoms due to BPH in 1 week.
1 week?
Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not a more serious condition like prostate cancer.
Avoid driving or hazardous tasks for 12 hours after your first dose or increase in dose, as a sudden drop in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting.
If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Common side effects are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen.
Ask your doctor if Flomax is right for you.
And call 877-4FLOMAX to see if you qualify for up to $40 off new or refill prescriptions.
For many men, Flomax can make a difference in 1 week.
A new 2-hour Dateline mystery. A dark road. A desperate struggle. Who pulled the trigger? Tonight, 9/8 Central on NBC.
We're back. Graduation day now getting very close for the largest college graduating class in our nation's history. They're all entering the toughest job market in decades. We have a report on this tonight from a special member of our family who's been out talking to some of those job seekers. Our report comes tonight from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and NBC's Luke Russert.
I get a lot of "we'll get back to you," or "you have great qualifications, but we'll call you when we find something."
I'm under a lot of pressure right now. It's pretty stressful.
The voices of frustration.
Been online, trying, job fair after job fair.
The faces of changed expectations.
A lot of rejections, a lot of, thanks but no thanks kind of emails.
Like Lisa Brown, with a newly minted master's degree who badly wants a job in marketing, spending every day job hunting, but most nights pouring beers. So you thought going to grad school would better your job prospects?
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that pretty much why everybody goes to grad school?
Hiring has declined considerably in banking, finance, and the legal field. The once red-hot technology market has cooled by 100,000 jobs, which means when looking for work in towns like Chattanooga, Tennessee, a master's degree doesn't even guarantee a foot in the door.
I just feel really burned. I feel like, what did I do wrong?
It's all full-time, so if you're interested in those hours.
Some companies are hiring, but with the nation slammed with layoffs and fewer able to retire, new grads are stunned by the competition. Take this job fair, for example. A few years ago, young people would have expected to see a lot of folks their own age. But now, they see faces with a few more wrinkles and a lot more experience.
Well, recently we've had an amazing spike in our applicant flow. It's just almost tripled over the last few months. We are winding up declining a lot of really great people for these entry-level positions.
I would like to be established in my career by the age of 29.
With a strong desire to help people, Mark Ream armed himself with a master's in counseling. For now, he processes insurance claims, but focuses on the future.
I could be bitter. I could, stay in that frustration, but I choose to be positive and just keep looking and persevering.
Graduates biding their time and hoping one day to work in the profession they studied. Luke Russert, NBC News, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Well, attention all fellow parents who plan to spend a part of this upcoming weekend on a baseball field. There's been a baseball first in Bayonne, New Jersey. The mighty Mackenzie Brown threw a perfect game. She faced 18 batters, all boys, and she retired all 18. By the way, she also went 2 for 4 at the plate. Mackenzie is 12. She's already mastered the lingo of that baseball post-game interview. She says she thought she had something special going by the 4th inning. She gets to throw out the first ball at a Mets game this weekend. Good on you, Mackenzie. When we come back in a moment, a great city that operates on fast forward gets some serious talking to about slowing down.
While I was building my friendships, my family, while I was building my life, my high cholesterol was contributing to plaque buildup in my arteries. That's why my doctor prescribed Crestor. She said plaque buildup in arteries is a real reason to lower cholesterol, and that along with diet, Crestor does more than lower bad cholesterol. It raises good. Crestor is also proven to slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Crestor isn't for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests will check for liver problems. You should tell your doctor about other medicines you are taking, or if you have muscle pain or weakness, that could be a sign of serious side effects. While you've been building your life, plaque may have been building in your arteries. Find out more about slowing the buildup of plaque at Crestor.com. Then ask your doctor if it's time for Crestor.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
When I was told I had diabetes, I felt amazingly boxed in.
Joe uses the Contour meter from Bayer.
My meter absolutely adapts to me and my lifestyle. I'm Joe James. Being outside of the box is my simple win.
Now available in 5 vibrant colors.
You take Beano at a different time than when you take these gas relievers. You take Beano before your first bite of food so you don't get gas. You take these once you notice you have gas. And let's just hope you're the first to notice. Take Beano before, and there'll be no gas.
Decisions. Which Beneful prepared meal tonight? Roasted chicken recipe? Savory rice and lamb stew. You're right. Tonight is a beef stew kind of night.
Beneful prepared meals. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful.
It's a lovely day.
What are you gonna miss when you have an allergy attack? Benadryl is more effective than Claritin at relieving your worst symptoms and works when you need it most. Benadryl, you can't pause life.
Announcing the Ford Advantage Plan, a better plan to get you into a new, quality-built Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury. Today, while others say there's no credit available, Ford Credit says there is. Financing as low as 0% APR. Check for pre-approval now at Ford.com. And with the Ford Advantage, if you lose your paycheck, we'll make your payments for up to 12 months. Quality, credit, and payment protection. That's the Ford Advantage Plan. Visit your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Tuesday, a Today exclusive. Captain Phillips, captured by pirates. Now, the interview. Tuesday on Today on NBC.
nightly news at nightly.msnbc.com.
This sounds a little crazy coming from New York on a Friday night, but if you ever get to London, you'll notice they really do go a mile a minute. It's something about the bustle of the city and the pace of life and work there, but some are trying to stop that, trying at least to slow it down. We have a report on the effort tonight from NBC's Donna Friesen.
There's no question life in London can be exhilarating. The city never seems to stand still. With 7.5 million people on the move, the pace keeps getting faster and faster.
It's exhausting, absolutely exhausting.
Now, some think it's time to hit the brakes.
People that live in big cities sometimes get trapped in fast forward. We're living as if the whole of life was a deadline.
Today, they took their message to the streets, inching across Waterloo Bridge during rush hour.
You can enjoy the simple things of life, which is just the beauty and living in the moment.
It's the kickoff of a 10-day Slow Down London festival aimed at anyone who barges, honks, huffs.
Do you have a second to slow down?
And generally gets exasperated with big city life.
I've had so many people say, oh, this is just what we want.
Combine the chaotic commute with the pressure of keeping afloat and keeping your job. Add constant phone calls and emails, top it off with texting and twittering, and voila, frantic has become the norm.
We're not saying to turn back the clock, but maybe sometimes you need to turn it off.
It's all about altering our state of mind, challenging the cult of speed, realizing that instead of doing things as fast as possible, you might actually do them better and enjoy them more if you just slow down. Their ideas are simple, like taking time to stop and stare, putting pen to paper instead of typing your thoughts, eating lunch al fresco instead of al desco, maybe even switching off your phone. For some, of course, time is always of the essence.
Do you think they've got the right idea trying to slow down London?
No.
Others want to embrace it.
I think it's an excellent idea, yeah.
But just don't have the time.
I'm in a rush.
The campaigners say it's not about living urban life at a snail's pace, just remembering that sometimes less is more, and that you can find calm amidst the chaos. Donna Friesen, NBC News, London.
And speaking of hustle and bustle, nobody at the White House could quite figure out why a bird, a robin, was frantically coming and going outside the White House press briefing room lately until Ron Edmonds of the Associated Press trained his sharp eye on the mystery. Ron has a famously sharp eye, a Pulitzer Prize-winning eye. By the way, these are his famous photos of the assassination attempt on President Reagan. So Ron followed his hunch, got out his camera and tripod, and found some telltale distinctive blue eggs. He was there to record the arrival of some beginner robins, officially the newest residents at the White House. A quick program note for you tonight. Captain Richard Phillips, the American held hostage by Somali pirates and dramatically rescued about 2 weeks ago now, has in fact given his first interview today to our own Matt Lauer. Matt's exclusive will air Tuesday on Today here on NBC. When we come back tonight, making a difference at the barber shop, you could call it the haircut that could save your life.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription that treats both forms of COPD. Spiriva significantly improves lung function to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva is not a rescue inhaler. Tell your doctor about your medicines, even eye drops, and illnesses like glaucoma and urinary or prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. In the event your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor.
Make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
Hey! Hi, how are you? Get off of my back!
The 80 awesome calories of Silk Light provide 6 grams of protein and all the calcium of milk for a feeling of strength that lasts all day.
Cheerios works naturally to help lower cholesterol. Let it help lower yours.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of Net Zero. Here's a plan for America's broadband users to save $16 billion a year and $300 individually. Switch to Net Zero dial-up at $9.95 per month. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or go to netzero.com.
I thought a complete multivitamin was enough until I learned 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues. And One A Day Men's has more selenium than Centrum to support prostate health. And it supports heart health. That works for me.
1 A Day Men's.
In the Mediterranean, fresh ingredients and seafood are on tables every day. At Red Lobster, we're bringing new entrees inspired by the Mediterranean to your table. Try new wood-grilled lobster and tender jumbo shrimp with a garlic cream sauce. Or new Tuscan herb shrimp and chicken, wood-grilled and brushed with a blend of basil, olive oil, and white wine. Taste the flavors of the Mediterranean for a limited time at Red Lobster.
The Trailblazers, the Rockets, tonight at 6:30. Monday, how would you like to work from home and make some comfortable cash? We found a legitimate opportunity.
It's saving you travel time, it's saving you gas.
Why cyber workers say business is booming. Monday at 11 on News Channel 8.
We're back this Friday night with our Making a Difference report. We continue, by the way, to encourage you to tell us about the people you know who are making a difference in this awful economy. You can post your suggestions on our website, as always, nightly.msnbc.com. Tonight, the story of a doctor who has turned the act of getting a haircut into a sometimes life-saving experience. Our report from Shreveport, Louisiana, and NBC's Michael Oku.
The local barbershop is a traditional gathering place for African-American men.
How y'all doing, sir?
And if you listen closely,
I like it like that.
the buzz you hear is not only a cut and a shave, it's the sound of lives being saved.
180 over 104.
Are you serious? One Saturday every month, Dr. Bill Relaford rallies healthcare volunteers to make house calls at black-owned barbershops.
Make sure it's not too tight.
Anyone who drops by for a trim
Just relax.
gets a free health screening.
There's very few outreach programs that are targeting African-American men. That's why we believe the Black Barbershop program is so effective.
African-American men suffer high rates of diabetes and hypertension. Under age 50, heart failure at 20 times the rate of whites. Yet they're less likely to get regular checkups, in part because they're more likely to be uninsured.
We believe that going into the barbershop creates the forum and the environment conducive for African-American men to learn more about their health and get screened.
And today, at the Tight Edge Barbershop in Shreveport, Louisiana, the talk is about health.
You're at high risk of a heart attack or a stroke right now.
Since its inception in 2007, the program has screened 7,000 men. This year, they're targeting thousands more at 750 barbershops across 13 states. 1 in 3 men screened by the program learns he has a serious medical condition, like Carl Populus, who started eating salads and lowered his blood pressure after he got a reading of 197 over 110. So you were shocked? Totally. Dr. Bill Relaford and his volunteers, saving lives, one haircut at a time. Michael Oku, NBC News, Shreveport, Louisiana.
And that is our broadcast for this Friday night and for this week. Thank you for being with us for all of it. I'm Brian Williams. Lester Holt will be here with you this weekend. We sure hope to see you back here on Monday. In the meantime, have a good weekend. Good night.
Sunday, exclusive. King Abdullah of Jordan, plus the White House press secretary on the escalation.
Key Bank, proud to be named as the top bank in Businessweek magazine's 2009 Customer Service Champs. Learn more at key.com.
Sleep Country's free event will be hitting the road Monday. But if you hurry, you still get free sheets, free pillows, free bed frame, free delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old set with purchase of selected Simmons, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, or the Sleep Number bed. Don't forget, 12 months free financing. But after Monday, the free event will be long gone. Guaranteed comfort, best selection, lowest price.
Leif's Auto Collision. Guaranteed delivery date.